hit record so we can hopefully have a little fun with this. And so obviously your question is, let's talk about the endocrine system. Big question. First and foremost, always remember the joys of negative feedback, which is, remember, once we have enough of a certain hormone, our body's not going to produce any more if it can help it. And so we're using that negative feedback so we keep everything where we need to. Now, let's think about an athlete, okay? If your goal is to increase a power lifter's performance, what hormones would we want to enhance kind of in general, like throughout the day, meaning not when they're training, just 24 hours, we just have that dialed up a little bit. And then what hormones would we want to have dialed up right when we're competing? The final is all essay or short answer.
Would you making that as a question towards me right then?
That's to everybody. That's all you got. You can throw it up in the chat, anything you want to do.
So I know we're going to expect an increase in testosterone, but I've also, whenever you had a question on one of your things and it said overtraining, you have a decrease in testosterone and an increase in cortisol.
Yeah.
Would that be like during training?
Okay, so the reason we have that decrease in testosterone, that increase in cortisol, well, remember, cortisol is that stress hormone. So if we're just constantly stressing ourselves all the time, cortisol is a double-edged sword. It's good in that it's going to increase the availability of these nutrients in our body. It's breaking down carbs, breaking down fat, but it's also breaking down protein as a means to keep up your performance. However, cortisol is not good when you're not working out because once again, it's helping your body break down. And if you're trying to be the most, the strongest power lifter you can be, you probably want as little cortisol as you can get so that you're not going to be, cutting into your body's recovery and, your gains in muscle mass. And you probably, want to have high testosterone throughout the day. But there's another hormone you'd want to have pretty high throughout the day that's going to help with recovery of all of your tissues. Now, what's that going to be, guys?
HGH maybe?
Yeah, growth hormone, absolutely. And insulin-like growth factor. Both of those being higher are going to obviously help increase not just muscle mass, but connective tissue strength and recovery in general throughout the body. Now, that's for, kind of the strength power athlete. Now, when they're actually going in their training or they're competing, what hormones do we really want to try to shoot through the roof? Or at least as high as they can tolerate? Think about the fight or flight response.
Talking about epinephrine?
Yes, epinephrine and norepinephrine, exactly. So yeah, we want to have, and we'd have to have those pumped up when we're training, when we're competing, but the rest of the days, they are down super low. So it's not cutting into our recovery. We're not amped up and we can't sleep at night. We're nice and relaxed. We're going to be able to recover the rest of the time. Obviously enough thyroid hormone that your body is, recovering, not so much that you're having a trouble putting weight on, or not so little that you're feeling tired all the time and feeling cold. So does that make sense where we care about those hormones?
Yeah.
Now, let's say we're going with a long distance runner and we want somebody to be a better aerobic athlete. What's a hormone we haven't talked about yet that we probably want to increase the amount of?
Would you be referring to maybe T3, T4, where they're related to metabolism?
Potentially, but think about what would we use to increase our red blood cell production. So hence our capacity. Yeah, erythropoietin, EPO.
So EPO for aerobic, just because you need like more red blood cells and stuff like that for O2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So now, what hormones would we be interested in that's going to affect our body's fluid levels? So having effectively enough water and otherwise. And affects our electrolytes levels as well.
Maybe aldosterone or
Yes,
antidiuretic hormone.
yes, yes. And we could talk about angiotensin when it comes to our blood pressure. Exactly. So yeah, you can be talking about how those hormones, if we knew we had a long distance athlete and we had to go run in super high temperature environments and super long durations where we're going to have limited amounts of fluid available, we probably want to almost modulate those hormones so we can go into those competitions hyper hydrated. So we're holding on to more water and electrolytes than we need. So that way we've got plenty that we can slowly sweat out and still not see a decrease in performance.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions with endocrinology, Nick, that you'd like me to go through?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay, okay. Katie, I know you're a little late, but effectively it's just an open question and answer session. Anything that I can go into and talk about for you that, yeah, you've got questions for anything over the exam. Otherwise, guys, I think we'd all agree it hasn't been a great semester, but it's been okay, right? I've enjoyed working with you guys, just don't enjoy getting to work with these and otherwise, but unfortunately that's the situation we find ourselves in.
I don't have a specific question, but I get really confused with all the hormones and everything. I
Yeah.
just can never find a way to remember them. Do you have like any I don't like shortcuts to understanding like what they each do?
Yeah, that's
Because like I need to make like a cheat sheet so that I can like study from it because I just get really, really confused because some of them do similar things, but they have different effects. So it just confuses me and I don't know how to
oh
study it.
no, you're absolutely correct.
Okay.
For you, I would say try to develop like a flow chart.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like these are the hormones that are naturally anabolic, these are the hormones that are naturally catabolic, and these are the hormones that are involved in hydration, effectively, like electrolyte
Mm-hmm.
levels. And then from there, you can kind of have, those different buckets. Like, okay, these are catabolic. These are the ones that are catabolic, but they're specific to working out, like epinephrine. Or these are the ones that are catabolic, but it's about maintaining our blood sugar, like glucagon. And then this is the one that's catabolic, and it's about just getting fuel ready when we're stressed, and that's cortisol. And you can kind of go through and do it that way. When in doubt, figure out the method works for you. Since the
Okay.
exam is effectively open book, open note, write out the flow chart that works for you. I say that because I literally keep a legal pad in front of me, as you can see, like all the notes that I leave for myself and things that I get to do every day. Having that, and that you can go ahead and go through and think about, because the big thing on the exam, guys, is really thinking it through. So like, obviously, and I know you came in a little bit late, Nick had a great question, which is, just asking about the endocrine system and really thinking through like, okay, which hormones really matter? Which ones would we want to see influencing our athlete when they're competing? Which ones would we want to see influence our athlete when they're at rest? So yeah, it's a lot. And there's a reason why there's an entire, there's effectively an entire part of being a medical doctor called being an endocrinologist, where that's all you look at is the hormonal system. And
Yeah, I could not do that.
yeah, and then within that, then you've got the endocrinologists that effectively only specialize in diabetes. And diabetes is just two hormones, insulin and glucagon. That's it. That's their entire job, and they can spend their entire career just fine tuning those two. So you're not wrong to look at it and go like, this is a lot. Instead, it's just important to just be like, okay, here's what I'm asking you on the exam. What do I think, given that cheat sheet you've made, given the notes that you've taken in the semester, given your own textbook, which hormones here might have something to do with it? That's why you have literally 7 hours to take that exam, and there's 14 questions on it. So you've got half an hour to answer each of those questions. And Some of those you might put a half hour into, some of those you might only put a minute or two into, and that's okay. But yeah, make sure you really think it through.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, no worries, guys. If you guys don't have any more questions, then yeah, we might just call her a day and tell you guys to, have a good one. If you guys come up with more questions later on, just email them to me. I'll shoot a little video and put it up on YouTube for you guys so you can look at that to help your look at that. Make sure you guys take that King of the Hill. Not enough of you guys have taken it yet. It's free extra credit points. Yes, it involves more grading for me because, the joys of Blackboard, but it's an easy way to at least get a few points of extra credit. And or obviously, if you get the highest score on it, you just got yourself an extra 10 points, or sorry, 50 points to your final grade. And right now the semester, because I did the math earlier today, is out of 572 points. So effectively, if you win that King of the Hill, you've just given yourself almost a full increase on a letter grade. So
Can you tell us like what the highest one is right now?
thank you. And I looked that up earlier, Jordan. It is currently, I believe it was at 6 points when I looked at it. So somebody got 60 of them right.
Okay.
Okay. So if you guys don't have any more questions, have a great day. Thank you guys for as good of a semester as we can have. Don't be a stranger in the future if you guys are obviously still going to be around and not graduating. Because I think 1 or 2 students in the class this semester actually are graduating. So hopefully I see you in the future, but not in the classroom because you guys are doing the real thing and being an adult. Not that you're not adults right now. Let me make sure that I don't say that. So stay safe out there, guys, and have a great day. All right. Bye-bye.